To the performance side of things, this thing has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it, 3 gigabytes of RAM. Now, this is how I'll basically break this down. If you're trying to substitute your MacBook or an iMac or something, and you're like, oh, I don't need those, I need to get an iPad mini, or, I need an iPad, I will tell you, you're going to have to kind of level out your expectations, or at least be aware of this specific iPad, because I truly believe an iPad could probably overdo or, do basically what a MacBook or iMac can do, but I don't think it can do everything that those machines can do, Now with an iPad, for example, this thing's smoothness is out of this world. It can do a lot for sure. And I've always had smoother experiences on iPads than MacBooks or iMacs, so definitely keep that in mind. And also this thing supports the Apple Pencil, which is something that a lot of creatives use. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't need to do a lot of gaming, if you're somebody who doesn't need to do a lot of video editing and stuff, then I would say this is probably a really good iPad for it, because it has a smaller screen. It doesn't really have a crazy big screen, but it's so portable and so light that you can just throw this thing in a book bag, or even put it in a binder or a notebook, put it in your stack of notebooks or something, and take it with you to class, or because mostly everything's online, you can really do everything you need to on this specific iPad. And I think that's a huge asset for this type of machine. But the only downside of this specific iPad, just like how I said with the iPad Air 3, would probably come in the form of the RAM. Because it only has 3 gigs of RAM, that doesn't really make this thing, stand out to me in any way. And I think that's kind of like an average amount of RAM to have in nowadays, considering all iPhones have 4 gigs of RAM, MacBooks and iMacs are only getting more and more RAM, and these iPads are only getting more and more RAM as well. With 3 gigs, I think it's okay for the most part, but you're definitely going to feel like if you're running a lot of these big games, if you're running a lot of these bigger apps, you're going to find yourself having a lot of programs closing out in the background. I'll give you an example. If you're a student and you're writing out a paper, let's say it's your final paper or whatever, and you have to go, kind of swipe between, your notebook on your iPad, you have to swipe between, images, and you're Googling stuff and all that and so forth, you have a higher chance on something with a lower amount of RAM of those apps actually crashing. So just imagine you go back to, your paper that you're writing. Now, chances are, maybe if you're lucky, it'll go ahead and still save that paper out, and it'll, be saved to the cloud or whatever. But if not, then you're going to be, have to restart your paper every single time that happens. And that's a super unfortunate thing. I don't know how often that's going to happen, but that's definitely something to kind of keep in mind at the end of the day. So in terms of performance, I'll say it's great. It's not amazing, but it's definitely smooth. I feel like the RAM is the main portion of where the specific iPad kind of lacks in. So in terms of performance, that pretty much covers it up. Now ending.